Good afternoon, Americans. This is your favorite alien. Bubba is snoozing this evening here. It's a little rainy out there. On the evening of Monday, February 14th, 2020, I wanted to do a comment today on Bernie Sanders. I know you Democrats are going to try to jump on his back for his comments over the weekend, but besides being crazy Democrat and dumb, listen to what he said. And I quote: Fidel Castro uh, was not all bad. Now, without listening to those crazy Cubans in South Florida, the question that he asked is right. There is no system that's 100% good or 100% bad. Your system here is probably 45% good and 55% bad. And I'll get to that in a second. But Fidel Castro, he did institute a lot of good things in Cuba. Free health care, yeah, and very good health care for the third world country that Cuba was. Unbeknownst to you, and you guys are going to say, oh, yeah, but he had a $3 billion Soviet Union that was paying for everything. Well, yeah. But don't you guys pay for everything that the American government does and then you get nothing in return? Most of you, anyway, don't get anything in return. Guys like Bernie Sanders, uh, Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren, Ron Bloomberg, and Trump, yeah, they used the system to their advantage. All of them used the system to their advantage. And that's what Fidel Castro did in Cuba. Sure, it was a communistic society, and he put people in prison for uh, political offenses. Don't you guys do the same thing here? Didn't you guys lynch African Americans in the South and started your Jim Crow laws? And then the people in the North, if you didn't have any money, you couldn't defend yourself. And people got all through the decades, for the almost 200 years, got away with it. Now you see people like Harvey Weinstein and Mr. Epstein and Bill Cosby are getting their paybacks, aren't they? But that's because the system is changing. You Democrats don't like it. You allowed people to come into this country from Latin America, which is very much socialist. So that's why Bernie Sanders has got a good popularity, because he is, like, as he calls himself, a democratic socialist. I come from Panama, and we had experience with socialism, and I can tell you it's not good. Also, I keep on reminding you of Salvador Allende in Chile when he got elected, democratically elected by the people in 1970. And he started instituting programs that were terrible. And by 1973, it was so bad that the United States CIA, along with the Chilean government, armed forces under Augusto Pinochet, took over that. And you guys lost hundreds of Americans in a national soccer stadium that got shot in October 1973. Ask your U.S. government about that. There's a movie out there that was done for this. And it hasn't been played. Why? Because the U.S. government don't like it to be played. So you see, Americans, before you go blasting Sanders, I don't agree with his policies, just like I don't agree with President Trump's. But he was right in what he said. There is no such thing as 100% good, and there's no such thing as 100% bad. And Castro was not 100% bad, which he wasn't. He may have been 65% bad, maybe 70, but he wasn't 100%. So quit listening to those crazy Cubans over in South Florida who have an agenda. We want a free Cuba. But what are they going to do with Cuba that's not communist? Look at the countries that came out of the Soviet Union. Uh, Soviet Georgia, for one. All the Stan's country, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, and all those Stan countries over there. Moldova. Yeah, all those are crazy. This is your favorite agent in Bubba. Just saying, before you go blah, 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 pay attention, will ya? Thanks.